In our quest to improve frames per second, smoother computer experiences, we take a look at Windows background software and services. Your computer is doing a lot more than you probably think behind the scenes. In this tutorial, I will show you how to disable any unnecessary background activities that might be taking up valuable CPU, RAM or hard drive resources. The less that is running behind the scenes, the more resources available to potentially improve your frames per second and the general speed of your machine. I am working on Windows 10, but this information could apply to any machine running Windows all the way back to Windows NT 4. Press Alt Ctrl and Delete and select the Task Manager, or you can also press Ctrl Shift and Escape. They both will take you to the Task Manager. On the left hand side of the Task Manager, you can see a list of applications and services that is currently running on your computer. Any application you have open, Word, Chrome or any game will appear in this list. On the right hand side, you will see the CPU, memory, disk and network resources each of these applications or services is using in real time. What you're trying to achieve is to use as less resource as possible so that any game or important application you want to run can maximize the resources available. So in short, if the CPU is working at 100%, it is working as fast as it possibly can. This is what you want to avoid or minimize. Try opening as many applications as you can and watch how the CPU percentage goes up as it works to process all the new data. This idea of resource and 100% being the maximum works with all the other resources, RAM, hard drive and network resource. What is especially important is to ensure that you have enough RAM in your computer to run the game or to run the application, else you'll find the computer will slow down. If you run out of RAM, you're in trouble. So to achieve better gaming FPS or just better computer performance, our aim is to keep the CPU, memory and disk utilization to a minimum. So how can we do this? Let's first make sure that there isn't anything running or open on the computer that we don't really need or use. If you're wanting to max out your FPS, I recommend that you close any other application or program you have open. We can end any of the tasks in this process by right-clicking on the selection and selecting the End task. Alternatively, we could just close programs the normal way by going to the program and closing it how we normally do. Where this now gets a little bit more complicated is that in this list of open processes and tasks are other unknown things that is running on the computer. Some of these are just Windows tasks that is needed by Windows to run. Some are our security software tasks. This list may also show adware, bloatware, malware, which is currently running on our machine. So it's time to take control of this so we have as little as possible chance of something using our CPU, RAM and resource when we're trying to max out our frames per second. If you're not sure if you should end the task or not, simply right-click on it and select Search Online. That will help you identify what the task is and possibly help you decide if it should be running. You do need to be careful here not to disable any firewall, antivirus or other security tasks, but there are some obvious tasks you could end. When you end a process, there's every chance it will return. By ending the process, it doesn't always get rid of the process forever. When we restart the computer, it could reappear, so we need to look at some other permanent changes that we could make. The Startup tab provides an overview of what software starts when the computer is turned on. Here we can prevent applications running when the computer is turned on and so prevent the software from using our computer resources. If you're someone who installs a lot of software and games, this could be a rather long list in here. This is a good place to stop bloatware, adware and so on running on your machine. So like before, avoid turning off your security software and think logically, do I need to use that software all the time? Does it need to start when the computer is turned on, or can I just manually start that piece of software later? When Windows is installed, there is nothing in this list. So only you installing software and games will have generated this list in the Startup tab. The last tweaks we can perform in the Task Manager, which used to be hidden away, is services. Windows in the background is running a range of services. For example, when you plug in the USB device, the plug and play service initiates and sets up your USB drive so that you can use it automatically. There are services in here we can trim, turn off, preventing the potential use of computer resources. There is a comprehensive list of services that could be disabled in the URL I have left in the information below. To disable a process, right-click on Process and select Open Services. You will then see a status of each process running or not, and then the startup type, which is automatic or manual. Right-click on a process, select Properties and press Stop. In the startup type, press Disable. The process will no longer run under any circumstance. So in short, disable or close any unnecessary programs, cut down the background activities that might be using resources, monitors the CPU and RAM performance when playing games, and check that you have not maxed out your RAM. Essentially, in the Task Manager, you are troubleshooting, looking for areas or weaknesses. Is the RAM maxed out when I'm playing games? This in turn is affecting frames per second. Is the disk utilization on 100% when I play a game? Maybe time to think about upgrading.